What's going on, everybody? This is Al from PlaybookGamer.com, and today we're going to look at the Louisville Pro Style Playbook in College Football 25. This is the Jeff Brom offense. I'm a big fan of what he likes to do schematically, all the way from his days at Western Kentucky. Then he went to Purdue, done as best as he could there before coming back home to Louisville. And if you ever get a chance, just watch Louisville and their offense. It's just really neat. It's a little bit different. It's not your typical spread with a lot of option. It's a pro-style offense, but in his own way. He's also known for trick plays, and we got several plays of that in here as well that we'll cover. But we're going to go over the formations and concepts and play types and personnel, and hopefully by the end of the video, you have a good idea of what this playbook is all about. So let's start off with formations. You got some single back, you got one eye formation, you got some pistol, and the bulk of it's going to be shotgun. But I'm going to go back up to the very top at single back. So what he likes to do is he'll be in shotgun or pistol majority of the time, but every now and then he'll sneak in a run play from under center just to give you something to think about. So he'll go in here, he'll run dive of some sort and do something like that, maybe on the same drive or another drive later on in the game. He'll throw play action on top of that. So let's try that here. We'll go up against something random. Something like that. Can he get some spacing on that drag route? Pay a special attention to the word drag. There's a lot of drags in this playbook, a lot of shallows and such. So what you do is you use some of this under center stuff just as a bit of a situational switch up for giving some of the defense to look at. So when it comes to bunch X nasty, you got some jet sweeps and you got basic under center stuff after that, but we got a pitch wide receiver reverse. This is our first trick play of the day. These are very hit and miss. You just got to hope that nobody's sitting there waiting on you to, to tackle you. But again, there's enough of it in here that I think you can enjoy, but you just got to hope it works. I've been told that people have been complaining about just run protection, pass protection is kind of rough in this game ever since that update. But you got plenty of jet sweeps and just typical under center stuff. Then you go to wide trips, you got a little bit more of that jet sweep stuff. Now, I'll just go ahead and tell you right now, these jet sweeps are they're not the best in the world because they're going to a weak side of the formation. So we can go ahead with jet sweep weak here on the right side. Notice it is the slot receiver going to the left. The problem is you don't have a tight end or an extra defense or an extra blocker to help you out. So a lot of times what's going to happen is this right here. This actually wasn't too bad. Honestly, that's like one of the more successful ones I've had so far. So you do it again. What I've ended up noticing is stuff like that happening. Like it just goes nowhere because you don't have that extra blocker on that side. But either way, you got a little bit of jet sweep if you need it. But the rest of it is just more typical pro style, run, play action, quick game type stuff. Then you got one I formation, I Pro, 21 plays here. Notice it's your typical pro style stuff in here. You got a play action, you got basic runs. So I would treat this no different than I would do the single back stuff. Sprinkle some of this in here every so often. Let's see if I can get a good block on the right side. There you go. Not a bad play right there. And then later on down the road, do play action on top of that. But one thing I wanted to point out in this particular formation was we have another trick play. It is halfback pass over here on the right. Now, forgive me if this doesn't look good. These are very hit and miss. You just got to hope you have enough time to throw something like this. Nope, that's just a good pickoff. Nobody was really open on that one. But a lot of times what I've noticed when I've been trying to fool with this stuff is this right here. You just don't have much time to throw at all. So just kind of keep that in mind with trick plays. They're supposed to be like all or nothing. But hey, it's there if you want to use it. Okay, but there's 21 plays in the iPro formation. I would definitely use it. Sprinkle it in. Now we got some pistol. We got pistol ace. This is a 12 personnel set. Your two tight ends out there. Then you got wing. That's another 12 personnel. Then you got doubles way off, 15 there. So you have enough pistol to complement your shotgun. So technically you start from the bottom and work your way down. So a lot of shotgun, do some pistol, and sprinkle in your I form in your single back. If you got the players to do it, of course. So let's go to the shotgun. We'll spend the rest of our time here. So when you go to shotgun, you got shotgun ace, 18 plays there. Then you got gun, wing, halfback, weak, close, the third, Esquire. A lot of stuff in there. Then you got, this is a 12 personnel set. You got 9 plays there. Doubles Y off. Now we're getting to our 11 personnel. Majority of this playbook will be 11 personnel, like with a lot of these playbooks. Then you got doubles Y off weak. Then you have Y trips weak. Then you got Y off trips. Then you have Y off trio weak. Then you got spread Y flex. Anytime you see a Y anything, that tight end should still be out there. And the number 39, that's him. Then you got spread double flex. Then you got tray open halfback strong. Then you got tray open. Then you got tray 4 wide receiver. This is the only 4 wide set you truly have, unless you want to use sub packages and stuff. And then we got a really unique empty formation. It's empty tray flex. This is technically an 0-1 personnel set. What I mean by that is 0 half running backs, 1 tight end. So it's 1 tight end, 4 wide receiver look. You got 12 plays there. Then you got your basic goal line stuff. So let's go look at personnel. You start off at the very top. Again, 11 personnel. The bulk of your playbook is going to be coming from all of this stuff right here. Pretty typical, most of these playbooks. You got your 32, that's just your QB kneel. 23, that's your goal line. 21, you only got 1. It's pro, but you got 21 plays. The other formation is technically your QB kneel type stuff. Then you go your 12 personnel. I think this is another reason why this playbook is pretty good. It's got plenty of it in here. You got 4 formations of 12 personnel. You got ace out of pistol. You got wing out of pistol. Then you got gun ace. And then you got gun, wing, halfback, weak, close. And then you're back to pistol ace. So there's 4 of these. So if you like to have a couple tight ends out there, you got plenty of plays to choose from and formations. And you got the 1 10 personnel look that is tray 4 wide receiver. And then there's that empty play. Or empty formation. 0 running backs, 1 tight end, but 4 wide receivers. So that's, again, just a nice little wrinkle in there. All right, so let's go over to concepts. Let's start off with the runs. Now, look at the play count. You got 71 runs, only 34 options, and you just keep on going and notice what he likes to do. So let's start off with the runs. Again, this is pro style. You're going to have a nice variety of things in here. You got 10 counters. I'm a big counter guy. Any gap scheme stuff, I'm all for it. You got 10 draws. This should be typical in a pro style playbook. You even have a QB draw right there. Keep that in mind. Then you got 20 inside zone. This is going to be your number 1 run concept. It's like that with most of these playbooks, inside zone. Just find whatever you can if you get decent blocking. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Here looks like they're bringing down a safety, so I probably ain't going to get nothing out of that. But again, plenty of inside zone. This is where your run game starts right there. Next up, we got 3 ISOs. You got technically 1 is a halfback direct. Then you got 8 outside zones. This is kind of a high number, in my opinion, from other playbooks that I've seen. Here's a buck sweep. I love throwing these out here. Let's see if we can get something going here. Can we get decent blocking? Nope. It's going to be a theme in a lot of this stuff. Can you get decent blocking on anything? Here we may get something. Nope, not again. Either way, I like the toss and buck sweep type stuff, but it's still outside zone, and there's plenty of it in here for you to use. Next up, we got 10 powers. Big power guy. Again, this is all gap scheme stuff. 3 sweeps. Then you got 1 trap. You got 1 end around. This is another reverse. In my opinion, I could treat it as a reverse. This is out of iPro. You go over here, it takes a sweet time, then you get around, and you got to hope for decent blocking. Can you get around? Not bad. We'll take this any day of the week, I would imagine. Not bad at all. I figure you want a little speedy receiver to handle that for you. But either way, so you got a halfback pass, and you got this end around. So you got 2 trick plays out of iPro just all by itself. Now we got 2 other reverses. Of course, we talked about single back bunch, X nasty. Then we got a gun wide trips weak reverse. You go right here. We'll go up against just something random. I know I'm going against a 4-3, so it's not going to be the easiest, but let's see if I can get around here. See, that guy's a little bit quicker. You can get something out of that. So there's another reverse right there. So you got 2 reverses on top of that other one we talked about earlier, the end around. Then you got 3 jet sweeps on top of that. So your reverses, your jet sweeps, all that kind of goes together. So then you go to option. There's not a whole lot of options. So in the previous video with UNLV, we went over every type of option you can think of and some crazy formations out of it. Here, there's not a lot of option. There's not a lot of RPO. So you got 3 inverted veers. You got 13 read options. This is where the bulk of your option game is going to come from if you want to use it. Then you got 5 RPO reads. You got 8 peaks, and you got 5 alerts. This is the lowest amount of RPOs I've seen in a playbook, and so far, I could be dead wrong. Forgive me if there's other ones that's got less than that. But to me, this is a very low number. A lot of these spread and bulk of the playbooks will have a bunch of RPOs. This one is just, there's enough in here, but it's not going to be the bulk of your offense. You can if you want it to be, but there's a lot more other stuff in here. So that's it for your option stuff. So the bulk of your run game is going to be a basic runs. Then you go to quick pass. You got 3 Ohios, 5 Omahas, 15 slants. I'm starting to like slants a little bit more than stick. You got 1 spacing and there's 10 sticks. So you've noticed in our previous videos, majority of these playbooks either have a bunch of stick or a bunch of slants or a little bit of both. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pick a random slants here. Let's go up against a nickel. So what I normally like to do, like a mirrored concept like slants, I just pick a side and just go from that direction, something like this. Can he get open? Did he catch it? Oh, he caught that, not bad. So you kind of pick a side and just kind of go from there. Let's see. Can he get off the block? Nope, I think he got intercepted on that one. Anyway, I'm a big slant guy. I'm starting to like it a little bit more than stick. So you got plenty of it in here. 15 quick slants. Notice majority of it is mirrored, except you got a stick thrown in there on top of that. So if you like both, you can do that. So there's stick. Look, you got stick on one side and you got slants on the other. Now let's go to medium pass. You got 12 curls, just any type of curl you can think of, whether it's a hitch or a basic curl or a comeback. They kind of throw it in here for the most part. Then you got 7 choices. 8 double moves. To me, a double move, that's a high number of plays for a double move, if that's your thing. Then you got 3 drives, 3 levels. So let's talk about this real quick. So when it comes to drive and levels and such, you're going to see a theme between drive, levels, mesh, shallow cross, and it's all those drag routes. So when you go back to drive, what is drive? Drive is a dig with a drag underneath going in the same direction. So you see right here, it's that same little concept over the middle, the dig with the drag underneath. Then you go over to levels, you got 3 of those. It's kind of the same thing, but with an extra little dig underneath that. So this is typical like Peyton Manning stuff. This is like his favorite concept. It's just more drags and digs on top of that. You got 3 of those. So think 3 drives, 3 levels. You got 5 mesh, but it's also labeled as shallow cross. So mesh is what you see like here on inside cross. It's 2 meshes crossing each other. Shallow cross is a dig with the drag underneath it going opposite direction. So drive, same direction, shallow cross, opposite direction. So we got those 5 meshes. You got 2 pivots, 4 Salems, then the shallow cross. This is probably his go-to passing concept, at least in my opinion. This is what I would start off with. There's just a lot of shallow cross. And notice we got some play action in here. PA wide receiver in. Yes, it's play action. It is a switch concept on the right side, but what's on the left side? Another dig and another shallow. That's shallow cross. Then you got your slot crosses, 3 of those. So I'm going to go actually, let's just go ahead and just do a shallow cross while we're here. I'm a big shallow cross guy. I really enjoy these. Let's see if I can make this look halfway decent. Nope, that's going to get picked. Let's try that again. Get a little read by the corner. Let's see. Looks like they're going 1 high of some sort. Hit the dig. Not a bad play there. Going to pick up 10 yards or so. But if you like mesh, you would love shallow cross. It's just a dig instead of another drag of some sort. So you got slot cross. If you like the slot receiver doing a cross around, there's only 3 of those. 25 smash. Technically, there's more of this in here than anything else. However, it's a little bit of everything. So as we all know, smash is just a high-low read. It could be something as simple as corner strike with a corner and a flat underneath it, or it could be smash like hitch corners with a hitch and a flag route on top of that. So it's up to you if you like a combination of them. There's plenty of that in here. I suggest you use it. Then you got spot 4 of those and 2 Texas. That's a little Texas route. So again, just shallow cross, mesh, levels, drive. It's that same drag and dig combo. I think you'll have a whole lot of fun with it. There's plenty of it in here. Now let's go to deep pass. Comeback, 16 of these. I'm a big fan of the comeback route. And notice we got a combination of things. Look, there's drive concept. Guess what? The comeback to go with it on top of that. Pretty neat. We can go ahead and try to see if we can make this work pretty good. He's wide open right there. Just pick up some easy yards on that one. But I always like to use that comeback route as a man beater and just use the rest of it as zone or a shot play over the top. You got 6 daggers. This is deep dig type stuff. Okay, so if you really like the shallow cross, you love that dig. Maybe you want that dig route coming from the outside receiver. That's what those are. Then you got 1 divide. You got 1 double dig, 5 double post. Remember that double thing we looked at earlier? You got 12 floods. That's enough I would use them. One of my favorites, and I think it's in here somewhere. I couldn't find it. Maybe they got it labeled as something else. But anyway, I'm a big flood guy. I pretty much have a backside man beater with the rest of it being zone attacking. Then you got 14 verticals. A lot of deep shot. Makes sense. This is a pro-style playbook. You run, you do play action on top of that. You do verticals. that go on top of that. Then you got 7 meals. Meals is just more digs. Like if you go back and look, meals is a post with a dig underneath it. So you go back here. Some of this is pretty close to that. Oh, let me go back. There we go. So this is your meals. You got 7 of those. But look, 8 shallow cross. It's just a backside post on top of your dig. It's the same 3 to 4. It's like Mexican food. It's the same 3 to 4 ingredients over and over again, just put on the plate in a different way. This is the same thing. You got your drags, you got your digs, you got posts on top of that. And this is the offense. I really like it just because it all looks different, but it's still the same to you. So Portland, you got 8 of those. And Portland is meals, but it's the exact opposite. It's post on one side with a dig on the other. And we go back to Portland. So now we got shot plays, 17 of these. So this is going to be a big part of your offense. Play action on top of those runs we looked at earlier. There's a lot of them in here. And one of my favorites, it's PA shot. Anytime you find a PA shot like fade routes like that, I think these are pretty cool to go up against. Let's see if I can make something work here. This may get double team. I'm going to do an aggressive catch. Nope, that didn't work. Either way, you only got like 2 guys to throw to, but if you want to take a shot downfield, these are pretty fun ways to do it. Then you got 8 switches. So again, what did we just talk about? We got the switch concept, which is cool, but guess what? It may have like a shallow cross with it. Look at this shark halfback wheel. What does that look like to you? I see shallow cross with a drag and the dig. Hey, guess what? There's that comeback route. It's the same ones over and over again. That's what makes it look complex, but it really isn't. Now you go play actions. Now we know the play actions, there's more than 5 and 9 total play actions in here. We're going to look at the play types a little bit later. So screen pass, this is another one that's a little misleading. You got 5 bubble screens. These are some of the RPOs we looked at earlier. You got 6 flanker screens. These are your wide receiver screens. And you got 1 mid screen. But now let's go over to the play type. We'll go up to pass. Quick pass, 8 of those. We kind of looked at those earlier. Standard pass, you got shotguns, a bunch of those. But here are all your play actions. 49 of them. If you're going to run a post-style offense, you run play action of some sort. Otherwise, why bother? Okay, so you got plenty of them in there. We all saw majority of these already, and it's the same handful of routes over and over again. Okay, screen pass. Now, look at these halfback slip screens. We got a bunch of these. There's 1, there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 halfback slip screens in this playbook. That is a boatload, in my opinion. I think that's a whole lot. Now, the only problem with these screens is they're just kind of hard to execute at times if you don't have enough time to throw. Something like that can kind of work. Oh, that was a killer hit. Let's see if I can get around this guy. Either way, very simple plays. You got go routes over the top, but the whole thing is just to go to your halfback to get him open and see if you can get good blocking off of that. I really enjoy these slip screens. If you are a halfback slip screen guy, this is the playbook for you. There is a ton of it in here. Okay, so the bulk of this is going to be those halfback slip screens. And of course, you got your Hail Mary. Now let's go to the runs. We'll start off an inside handoff. As we all know, inside zone, that's the bulk of your run game. Your outside handoffs, those are your jet sweeps, outside zones and whatnot. Pitch, you got 3 of those. You got your 10 counters. You got 10 draws. But come down here again, there's that QB draw. Remember that. You got the 2 fullback runs if you want to give it to your fullback. And you got 2 QB runs. You got QB sneak and you got the fake jet pass power. But don't forget that QB draw as well. So if you need to run with your quarterback at least a little bit, it's in here. There's enough, I guess. But your quarterback's going to be throwing more than anything else. Let's go to option. Again, there's not a whole lot of option in here. So do not run this playbook if you want a lot of option. You go to RPO, same thing. There's just not enough of it in here for you to, I mean, it's in here if you want to use it. It's just not going to be a big part of the playbook unless you just really like them. Notice it's a lot of backside posts and such with those peaks and alerts and whatnot. And that is it for your play type. So the last thing I want to talk about is just a couple different trends I noticed in some of these plays. Of course, or formations. We've already talked about some of the trick plays. There's a few other ones. So if you go to like formation, you go to like the shotgun, there was another one. I think it's wide trips weak. You got this wide receiver reverse pass right here with a reverse on top of that. Again, some of these plays are very hit and miss. You just got to hope for the best. Can he get wide open? Not bad. I think I had another guy over the top that was wide open. But that's just like the number 6 trick play in the playbook. You got one, you got several from under center. Use that reverse pass, and you're off and running. The other thing I want to talk about are these plays right here. There are a handful of GL plays. These are, I'm just assuming they're goal line concepts. There are, I think, around 20 or so playbooks that have these. Now, I'm not the best at them. I'll just go ahead and tell you, but we can try to replicate them. Like we can go up on the goal line. And most of these are from like these Y-off trips, formations, and things of that nature. But these are meant to be a goal line play. So let me just look here. We got a wheel. We got a couple hitches and a backside dig of some sort. Let's see. Anybody going to be open? Maybe touchdown. Yep, 6 points there. And I was really late on that throw. But there are several of these, but I think it's just the same 3 or 4 concepts. So you notice right here, we got a fork zig, we got a short post, and we got unders. Then if you go over, I think it's Y-off trio week, you have the same ones, but just from a different formation. I just kind of wanted to point that out. So that is kind of it for this playbook. It's pro style. So think. You run, you do your inside zone, outside, you do some power if you want to do that. Then you do a lot of play action off of that. And then what's your drop back passing game? It's going to be a lot of shallow cross. It's going to be a lot of mesh. It's going to be more levels and drive. And then you do verticals on top of that. Guess what? All that just screams pro style, but for more spread sets like you see right here. All right, I think you'll enjoy the playbook, and I'll talk to you later.